So today is May 27th. We're on pages 50 and 51. We're at the back of your magazine, and we're with the health article today. Today, our topic is promoting hair regrowth through fat cells.
哇，今天要讲到的主题呢，很多男性、女性都会很好奇。不过你们现在应该还不用担心这个问题哦。如果说今天谈到这个头发的话呢，我们看到这个主题，它中文标题叫做“秃发新救星，分解吧脂肪”。这个我们看看英文的标题啊，他说 “Promoting hair regrowth”。Through fat cells， 这边特别注意一下这个 regrowth 的这个 stress， 我们的重音呢是放在第一个音节 regrowth through fat cells。这个 fat cells 我们不会念 fat cells， 我会念 fat cells。好，这个音调的变化可以稍微注意一下。这边的 promoting 就是促进的意思，让这个头发重新再生。透过这个脂肪细胞，哇，这个主题好有意思哦。
So our subtitle today is how fat cells may help hair grow back. Yes, you can say help hair to grow back, but kind of not super fluent. Help doesn't like to use to. You know, this is kind of like people love to make bald jokes. Certainly, you know, there's slang that's always funny about it. But being bald really does impact people. And let me tell you the truth. Do you know who it hurts the most? Women. Women can lose their hair just as much as, well, less than men, but women do lose their hair. And women especially really suffer from this because a man can shave his head bald if he doesn't want to kind of have like, what is it called? What is that called? You said? The Mediterranean Sea.
要这个地中海的这个头型。对，我们刚刚有谈论到不同的发型，在英文里面没有这样的表达方式。
So men can just shave that off. But women kind of can. And so this is an interesting topic to help people feel confident. And I think especially for women.
没错，很多时候呢，我就记得我小的时候，我就问到说，那个阿嬷，为什么好多的这个在阿嬷这个年纪的人都喜欢把头发烫得卷卷的？然后阿嬷就说，因为这样看起来头发比较多啊，因为不然的话看起来稀稀疏疏的，这样子就不好看呢。我还知道原来是要让那个头发，女生也是会有掉发问题的。我们赶快来看看，我们到底怎么解决这个问题吧。
Promoting hair regrowth through fat cells. Hair loss is a common experience for many people as they grow older. Whether it is thinning hair or going bald, this can make people feel less confident about their appearance. Recently, a team of researchers at National Taiwan University discovered a method that might promote hair regrowth. They found that skin injury leads the fat cells beneath the skin to release fatty acids, which can stimulate hair follicles to regrow. Based on this discovery, the team developed a possible new treatment. It works by applying a natural substance that contains certain fatty acids to areas affected by hair loss. In laboratory tests, hair was seen growing back in as little as 20 days. While initial tests have primarily been conducted on mice, the data from early human trials have shown promising results. The researchers' goal is to launch the product as a serum that is available for public use. Currently, common hair loss treatments include surgical hair transplants and various medications, both of which can be costly or cause unpleasant side effects. This new approach offers a potential alternative for anyone concerned about their hair. However, further testing is still needed to ensure it is safe and works well for everyone over the long term.
Okay, friends, before we begin paragraph 1, fast facts. By age 35, 2/3 of men have some hair loss. By age 50, 85% of men have some hair loss. White men are most likely to go bald, and East Asian men are least likely to go bald. My grandfather was bald. My dad wasn't. So far, so good, baby.
耶，太棒了啦！所以老师刚刚开始的时候，我们先讲了一些重要的一些事情哦。在35岁的男生，35岁之前呢，差不多2/3的男性可能会有掉发的问题。到了50岁之前呢，男性差不多85%都会感觉到，我头发好像越来越少了。那老师刚刚还提到说，白人的话比较容易有掉发的问题，那亚洲的男生的话比较没有掉发的问题，是最没有掉发问题的这个族群。那顺便呢，然后老师就说，你看我头发好好的，耶，这样的感觉。
My grandpa was bald. Dad was okay.
没错，所以
Let's go, baby. Hair loss is a common experience for many people as they grow older.
好，所以你看到我们介绍前面这些事实了之后，我们来看第一段会比较有感觉嘛。他说 Hair loss is a common experience. 好，这种掉发、落发啦这种东西呢 ，a common experience 指的就是一个常见的这种经验或是经历。For many people as they grow older， 随着年龄增长呢，大家都会碰到掉发这种问题。
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that lost their hair in their 20s. They started losing their hair in the 20s, and they were bald by the time they were 30s. They just shaved it off. Let's look at our next sentence. Whether it is thinning hair or going bald, this can make people feel less confident about their appearance.
好，我们来看后面这句话，说 Whether it's thinning hair， 如果不管是这种头发稀疏啊 ，thinning 就是薄薄的嘛 ，thin 指的是瘦，薄薄的意思，对不对 ？Or going bald 就是说完全开始走这个秃头的这个方向了，对不对 ？This can make people feel less confident。好 ，feel less confident 就是比较没有自信。落发这件事会让人比较没有自信 about their appearance， 对他们的外貌感到觉得哇没自信怎么办
Sure, let's take a look at the word thinning. We have two N's, and that means our I is short I. And 당연, because 如果你要那个双字母加 ing, that vowel has to be short. If it's a long vowel, you can't add the ing, so it's th, don in, cbc. 才可以加 ning. So this 双字母 is always telling you, pay attention. This vowel is almost always short. 除了最前面的 a or e, that one's a little trickier. This can make people, recently, a team of researchers at National Taiwan University discovered a method that might promote hair regrowth.
好，我们来看下面这句话，他说 recently， 最近呢 ，a team of researchers， 有一个这种研究团队 at National Taiwan University， 好，就是台大，好，台大呢有个研究团队 discovered a method that might 指的就是说不定可以，他没有用 may 或是 will 或是 can， 就代表说他说不定可以，还没有那么肯定的感觉，我们会用 might promote hair regrowth， 好，说不定呢是可以促进头发再生的一种方法。Method 就是指方法的意思。
So Anthony really stressed this so well. It's regrowth. Make sure you add a little note here. That's super easy to forget. They found that skin injury leads the fat cells beneath the skin to release fatty acids, which can stimulate hair follicles to regrow.
好，我们来看这边这句话哦。They found that， 他们发现了。好，在这边我们要特别注意一下 lead 这个字，我希望你先写上 lead A to do something。好，那个 A 是什么呢？他就是说到了 They found that skin injury， 好，这种皮肤呢如果有损伤的话 leads the fat cells beneath the skin。所以我们这边的 lead A to do something， 这个 A 其实是比较长的 the fat cells beneath the skin。所以你帮我把这整块框起来，变成是一个东西，让这个东西呢，这个东西是什么呢？皮下的这种脂肪细胞呢 ，to release fatty acids， 好，会释放出这种脂肪酸，好 ，fatty acids， 然后逗号 ，which can stimulate hair follicles to regrow， 好 ，to regrow， 好，指的就是指重新再长出来。这边要特别小心是，如果你要强调是名词的时候，我们会把重音放在第一个音节，像 regrowth。但是在这边的话，我刚刚一看到，哇，这是动词，赶快改成 regrow， 重音会放在后面，好 ，regrow 这个地方要特别注意。Follicles 就是指我们的毛囊，所以最后告诉我们说，这个 fatty acid 这种脂肪酸呢，能够刺激我们毛发的毛囊啊重新生长。
We both made that mistake if you listen. So because we started with hair regrowth. And then we said it again. And now we have to regrow, the verb. So make sure you're making little notes. So regrow on G-R-O-W, that's your stress there. Make a little note there so you don't make little mistakes. Also the same with fat cells. Be careful. Beneath just means under. You can write that down. And your fatty acid, if you don't know what that is, that's like when you run really hard and you start to feel tired, you use up like your glucose. You start using that fatty acid. That's the same stuff that makes up the outside of your cells to the wall. So that's what your fatty acid is.
没错，等你跑步，那个 glucose， 你的那个葡萄糖用完了之后，还开始分解你的脂肪嘛。然后你的脂肪外围的话，它也是有一层脂肪砖在保护着，那个叫做 fatty acids.
That's why you need fat. Like you can't have 0% fat in your body. You would die. You can't make cells. Okay, let's look at the word hair follicle. So a hair follicle, those are the tiny like little holes where the hair is. So there's a little hole. If you look closely at your skin when you're a teenager, you can see them in your nose. That's called the pore, P-O-R-E. The pore is the door, and the hair follicle is everything else inside. That's where the hair actually is.
毛孔，好，它 P-O-R-E, pore 是我们看到常常长青春痘的时候会注意到，一颗一颗有没有？它在上面，然后这个毛孔里面藏着毛囊，所以老师刚刚讲说，这个毛孔就像门一样，然后这个 follicles 这个毛囊呢就在里头。
Okay, we gotta talk about this word cell really quick. It's Latin for the word small room. In the past, monks, people that pray a lot, they didn't live with other people. They had to live away from everyone. And in this big building, they would have their own little room. The rooms were very simple, nothing fancy. A bed, maybe a chair. That's it. And these were tiny little rooms. When scientists were learning about cells, they didn't have a word for it. Like, oh, look at these little tiny things. And the scientist, his name was Robert Hooke. This is in 1665. It's like, oh, this makes me think of those little rooms that the monks live in. And those little rooms were called cells.
Yeah, 所以这个字老师告诉我们它的字源 cell 这个字怎么来的？为什么变成细胞呢？原来呢，当初呢，在大概12、13世纪的时候，僧侣他是不跟一般人住在一起，他们住在修道院。那修道院里面有非常非常多一个一个很小很小的房间，非常非常简朴的一个地方哦，可能一个小桌子啊，一张床啊等等。那一格一格的就叫做 cell。然后到后面呢，等到这个 scientist 啊，这个 scientist 的话。就是一个科学家发现到植物，这个植物里面它有一个一个小小一个像房间一样，感觉很像修道院呢一格一格的小房间。那他看到这个细胞的时候，他就想到那就叫它 cell 好了。所以说现在的细胞之所以叫 cell， 是因为它的形状很像修道院里面一格一格的小房间，是这样来的。
That's right, and that's why people, when they go to jail, they have to stay in a jail cell. It's a little room for these bad people. And then you have a cellar, a little room under your house where you can kind of keep stuff.
所以说今天你到了这个监狱里面，他看到一个一个小房间，这个关犯人的地方，那也叫做 cell。那你的关犯人的这个狱友叫 cellmate， 对不对？另外一个字呢，就是我就指着他这样很过分哈。另外一个字呢，就是这个 cellar， 就是我们那个地窖，很像一个小地方可以储藏一些你的食物啊等等，那个叫 cellar，C-E-L-L-A-R。
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got paragraph 2. Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on pages 50 and 51. Let's look at paragraph 2. Based on this discovery, the team developed a possible new treatment.
好，我们来看这一段的第一句话，他说 Based on this discovery， 好，基于这项发现呢 ，the team 这个团队呢 developed a possible new treatment。这个 treatment 指的意思是指新的这种疗法。If you treat a person for his illness， 就是想办法去治疗他的疾病，所以这个 treat 它本身可以当作是治疗疾病的意思。那 treatment M-E-N-T， 我们之前稍早的时候有提到 M-E-N-T 当这个名词的结尾，指的就是疗法。所以整句话呢，基于这项发现，这个团队研发了一种可能的新疗法哦。
It works by applying a natural substance that contains certain fatty acids to areas affected by hair loss. So you take some medicine, rub it on the areas that you want hair to regrow.
Rub 就是把它轻轻的擦涂抹在什么什么地方，好 ，rub。所以这边这句话说 ，it works by applying 的话，其实就是擦的，也就是 rubbing 的意思。A natural substance 指的是种物质，而且前面它告诉你是 natural substance， 这种自然的物质，不是化学的物质哦。That contains certain fatty acids， 里面呢含有这种脂肪酸。To areas affected by hair loss， 只要涂在这个落发区的这个地方，然后涂一涂的话，居然可以变好。
All right, in laboratory tests, hair was seen growing back in as little as 20 days. Let's say this word again, laboratory.
Laboratory 这个字呢，就是实验室的意思。如果你今天听到这个英国人在念这个字，他可能会有不一样的念法。Laboratory 或是 laboratory.
It's very German sounding. And so you might hear people say it differently. In American English, you will say laboratory. If you said laboratory, it feels kind of funny, honestly. Like you want to be German.
Yeah, 还蛮奇妙的哈。所以很多时候你听到 laboratory， 你就知道说我们简称叫做 lab， 指的就是实验室。在这个实验室的这种实验里头 ，in laboratory tests, hair was seen growing back in as little as 20 days. 这边这个 in 帮我把它圈起来，跟后面的20 days 指的就是指 in 20 days 就是在20天之内呢，好，最快的时候20天的时候就可以头发就会再生了。As little as 是额外增添在这句话里面，就是说只要20天 ，only in only 20 days 那种感觉。
While initial tests have primarily been conducted on mice, the data from early human trials have shown promising results. So they tested it on mice and said, well, let's try it on humans. They test on mice because mice have lots of babies very quickly, and humans and mice, our bodies are pretty similar, but not always the same. Something might work on mice, but not on people. When we say human, we're emphasizing the animal human, not the culture.
没错，在 human 这个字的时候，我们在这个地方，在这个上下文里面指的是人，好，而不是指说文化方面的这个 human。在这边的话，我们注意一下这边 while 这个字，谈到 while， 通常 you're talking about two things， 你通常是在讲两件事情 ，you want to present a contrast between two things。在这边他提到说 while initial tests， 虽然呢这个初步的这个研究或者初步的这个实验 have primarily been conducted on mice， 就是最初步的研究是针对这个老鼠去做了实验。The data from early human trials， 在早期的这些人体实验，试验老鼠没问题了，我们来试验一下人体上的反应。Have shown promising results. Promising 就是充满希望的。如果你可以说这个未来这个人前途无量，或未来很好，a promising career, a promising player 等等，都可以用 promising 来表达后市看涨前景可期的感觉。
All right, with that, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we got paragraph 3. Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We are starting paragraph 3 on pages 50 and 51. Let's read our first sentence. The researchers' goal is to launch the product as a serum that is available for public use. Don't say serum. I might say it wrong.
OK， 我们来看这一段的第一句话，他告诉我们说 ，the researchers' goal， 好，这个地方特别注意一下 ，researcher 先加了 s 之后，再做这个所有格的一撇，好，这一撇要在 s 的外面右边的地方。这些研究人员的目标呢 ，is to launch the product。launch 这个字可以用到做推出这个新的产品啦，或者是发射飞弹 launch a missile， 也可以用 launch 这个字来表达。As a serum， Serum 指的意思是指的是血清，但这个地方的话指的是那种精华液，可以擦在这个落发的区域。That is available for public use。特别注意一下这个 available 这个字的意思呢，就是指可以被大家买得到的、可以供应的这样的感觉。
Xiaoxin, I made a little NG before the show. I said serum. That's wrong. It's serum. Be careful. Maybe you might hear that. I certainly listen to a lot of other foreigners, and I was wrong. So be careful. Always check your pronunciation.
好，我们来看这一段的第一句话哦。The researcher's goal， 这个地方要特别注意一下这个所有格 researchers， 先写了 s， 再撇外面再撇一个撇，那个顺序要对，因为不止一个研究员嘛，所以你要先把复数写完了之后，然后这一撇要撇在 s 的右边，好，特别注意一下，研究人员的目标呢 is to launch the product. Launch 这个字通常是推出新产品的时候可以用到 launch 这个字，当然你也可以说发射飞弹 launch a missile， 也可以用 launch 这个字来表达推出新产品。As a serum 的话就是那种精华液，我本来以为想说会不会是像那 essential oil， 然后那种类似像是那种精油的那种感觉，差不多那种概念吧。That is available for public use。所以到后来等于是前期的实验差不多结束了，确定可行了之后，它的目标是希望能够做成商品，让大众可以随时随地的去买得到。
Let's look at a little pronunciation here. Serum, the E-R-A-I-R, 写下来. Serum, because this looks like serum and people say it wrong a lot. It's serum. Also public use. This is a noun, so we're going to say use, not use. 请写下来的这个 S 发 S. Serum is also the clear part of your blood. If a nurse or a doctor has ever drawn blood, you'll notice one part is kind of like clear white.
Yeah.
That's the serum.
血清，好。
That's right. Okay, currently, common hair loss treatments include surgical hair transplants and various medications, both of which can be costly or cause unpleasant side effects.
哇哦，这句话里面有很多很难的字哦，我们一个一个来看。Currently， 目前呢，好 ，currently 就是现在呢 ，common hair loss treatments 常见的这些落发的一些疗法呢 ，include surgical hair transplants， 可能是使用这种植发的手术。Surgical 就是来自于 surgery， 好，就是这个手术这个字，然后变成形容词，好 surgery。那 surgery 的拼法是 S-U-R-G-E-R-Y， 好变成 surgical。然后 and various medications， 好各式各样的这种药物的治疗 ，both of which。如果说今天这个前面是个逗号的话，它必须要是 both of which。如果是句号的话，它就可以说 both of them。好，用这种两种方式 can be costly， 好花费很昂贵。or cause unpleasant side effects. Side effects 指的意思就是指那种副作用，你 something that you don't want.
Yeah, if you want a hair transplant in the United States, it can cost over 400,000 NT dollars, over 13,000 US dollars.
所以说花的这钱会非常非常多。如果你去做植发的话，差不多要换算成台币差不多40万左右。
40万 yeah, 以上 yeah. That's a lot in America.
Yeah.
This new approach offers a potential alternative for anyone concerned about their hair. However, further testing is still needed to ensure it is safe and works well for everyone over the long term.
Yeah, 所以最后我们这两句话呢，我们来讲一下。所以这种新的方式 ，this new approach offers a potential alternative. Potential 指的是潜在的。Alternative is like another way， 好，是另外一种方式，替代的方案。For everyone concerned about their hair， 凡是关心自己发量的人，都可以去选择这种替代方案，可能的替代方案。However， 然而 ，further testing is still needed， 好，我们需要更多额外的这些测试 ，to ensure 来确保 it is safe。And works well for everyone over the long term， 就变成是确保在长远来讲，它是安全而且有效的。要确定这样子，我们才能够实际去贩售。
Story time. Let's go fast. Aeschylus was the father of Greek tragedy, and he died because he was bald. According to the writer Pliny the Elder, Aeschylus was outside because he had a prophecy that said he would die when something fell on his head. He went outside. Now, Aeschylus was bald. He had a shiny bald head. and flying high above him was an eagle carrying a turtle. Now, eagles can eat turtles, but they have to break open the shell. What do? Eagles are really good. They will carry a turtle high in the sky and drop it, and it can hit a rock, and the eagle will eat it. The eagle was flying high and saw a shiny, bald rock, and it dropped the turtle straight onto Aeschylus's head, where he died.OK，
所以我跟大家分享一个小故事哦。Aeschylus， 好，他是一个非常有名的这个希腊的这种悲剧之父。然后他的话很有名的是，他头呢很秃秃的哦，这样子。然后有一天他看到这个未来的启示说，今天的话不宜待在家里头，因为他说你会被一个这个东西掉下来撞到，然后打到他的头，这样。于是呢，他就待在户外。他说：“户外，嘿，天空啊，天气这么晴朗，应该不会有事了吧？”殊不知，好，有一个这个老鹰，好，抓了一个这个乌龟。因为通常老鹰在吃乌龟的时候，它会把它这个乌龟吊在这个很硬的这种石头上面，然后打碎了龟壳之后，再吃里面的肉。就后来老鹰飞啊飞啊，抓着乌龟，看到下面亮亮的，很亮很棒的石头。于是他就把它放下去，殊不知那下面亮亮的不是石头，是这个我们主角的这个光头，Aeschylus 的头。所以到后来他走到户外，想办法要躲避这个灾难，殊不知还是被这个空降的乌龟给砸死了。
He needed the hair serum.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the time we have for it. Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
We'll see you next time. Bye bye.